is up, awesome people, and welcome back to another Wi-Fi Wednesday shenanigans! Alrighty, so, I think this is going to be the first for its kind for the Sun and Moon Wi-Fi Wednesdays. I'm finally bringing you a single battle. It is only taking me, what, 9 months to do this? I'm so sorry, I actually thought I'd be doing single battles so much sooner, but between Smogon taking so long to decide its tiering system, and the fact I only play LC, PU, and maybe NU at the very best, I've been playing doubles until then, waiting for them to finally get their behinds into action for the tiers. So here we are, we've finally got our tiers going on. So this is a PU battle, I do believe, at the top of my head it was, up against an NFE team, which of course my team was supposed to be NFE, but there's a mixture of NFE and LC there, so this is going to be really interesting. So this one was featured over on PIMPNITE's channel for the Shiny Gold team, I do believe it was. So if you've already seen this battle, that's probably why. But if you want my perspective on this battle, you can stick around for that, I guess. Anyways, without further ado, let's just jump straight into it and see what type of shenanigans went down. So I think everyone can kind of take a guess what my team's going to be. I've been featuring that strategy for now the entire Sun and Moon, and I have been doing so now for about a year before that as well. Anyways, we've got the Porygon lead here. We know how much I love Porygon line. It's just the usual shenanigans with Porygon, unless the Porygon Z, that very rarely runs that strategy. But anyways, he's going to lead with the famous Magikarp lead here. So it's going for a Z Splash here. What else can Magikarp do besides the Breakneck Blitz with Tackle and maybe Fly'em Z if it's running the bounce on it? If it's, of course, running that. But anyway, Z Splash there to raise Magikarp's attack by +3. And of course, it's not going to do anything. And as I said, if you weren't guessing what my team was, well, it should have been a dead giveaway by now. It's going to be another Trick Room team. Yes, even in singles, I run this bloody strategy. Can't seem to get rid of it at this point in time. Anyways, I've got the Generation 1 Porygon here. So this one's got, I think it's only got 3 IVs. I never really got around to doing bottle capping and everything, so its attack's pretty shoddy. So going for the Skull Bash mainly to raise my defense here. I've got probably something like max health, max defense, and max special defense. I think I may have even done my special attack. I can't remember honestly at the top of my head what my IVs were. So the whole point for running Skull Bash was to kind of stack it up with the Everlight there, make this thing extremely tanky in its defense. I'm running Sassy Nature with max special defense, so I don't really need to rely on boosting that at all. I'm kind of just relying on naturally, and then Skull Bash to raise up the defense. So I don't even think my defense may have been max either. Anyways, Trick Room does run out there as I managed to take out that poor Magikarp with Skull Bash there. And even then, like, the flail on my Porygon actually did quite a decent amount of damage. So, it's a Shiny Mightyena. I actually don't feel bad about killing this thing. I'm not really a huge fan of Shiny Mightyena. I'm honestly more of a non-Shiny Mightyena fan. So it's running the Flame Orb there. Obviously, it's going to be having the Quick Feet ability there. So since it's a special set, the burn's not going to make much of a difference on it. Goes pop out into my Nuzleaf here, predicting like another Dark Pulse there. But he actually goes for the Snatch, hoping I went for something like Recover or something like that on Porygon, which I did run, but this entire battle never used it. Alright, so from this point, I have Low Kick, but I completely derped and forgot that Mightyena isn't really that heavy, so it's not going to be an Oko there. And it's got Incinerate, so I was like, oh, thankfully I didn't put a berry on Nuzleaf, because I wasn't originally going to running something like a Figgy Berry or a Lychee Berry on my Nuzleaf. I was like, just at the last moment, decided against it and go for a Choice Band instead, so that was excellent on my part, like, beforehand. Didn't think I'd be seeing Incinerate on Mightyena, let alone at all, so that's pretty interesting to see. So what Incinerate does is it burns any berries, and I only ran a Citrus Berry on my bird. I can't think of the top of my head, but anyways, it's there. So I go in my Do-What. I kind of decided to keep my Nuzleaf around, even though it would have been an Oko, but I thought I might have the Do-What out now. It saves me swapping when the next Pokemon comes out. So the Air Slash there manages to connect, takes out the Mightyena there. I was also kind of predicting him to switch as well into something like the Meganium, which is sitting in reserve. So out comes Steelix. I was like, okay, I doubt he's going to be running a weakness policy Steelix. That seems to be his bread and butter set here. So it's going Rock Polish. I was like, oh dear, please don't tell me it's weakness policy. Usually just by a Rock Polish there, I'm like, oh boy, it's going to be weakness policy, isn't it? So I go down to its Sturdy. So Sturdy activate there, so I was like, +2 in speed. Sturdy activates, like, oh, of course it's weakness policy. I just dug myself my own grave there, so I was like, I need to get rid of this thing now because it's probably going to outspeed the rest of my team unless I get another Trick Room up with Porygon. That's the only way I've got around this thing is to get the Trick Room up and just kill it. But it's got the Flail there, so I was like, oh, okay. Even if it's not stabbed at +2 and the max base power on Flail, I'm kind of in trouble here. Luckily I had Mischievous here, so this is my other Trick Room setup. Going for the heavy slam here, and I think I made this one in my special defensive wall as well. I don't know why, what was going through my head when I did this. Anyways, the trick room goes up once again there. So now I can outspeed it. Go for the hidden power. I can't remember what hidden power this is. I think it might be hidden power ground, I do believe. Because fighting's a real pain in the bum to get. Anyways, that goes down, finally and thankfully. So up next is the meowstic. So I was like, oh boy, this can be so many things in Pimp's books anyways. It's going to be the assist set. So I was like, oh boy, what type of shenanigans are we getting here? And it's going for rest shenanigans apparently. So I was like, well, that's kind of typical for Pimp. Rest, sleep, talk, and assist rest. That's perfect. Anyways, I got the memento there. I'm just going to kill off my Mischievous there. It's almost dead anyways. I had no form of recovery as well on Mischievous. For some odd reason, when it comes to Trick Room, I never run recovery, except for like maybe recover or Porygon lines, but that's about it. So it's at the -2 in attack and a special attack, and it's almost useless at this point. So it's going to swap out, going to Luxio. Not only that, they're going to swap out into Luxio to not only A, resist any Brave Birds that I may have, plus it's got the Intimidator as well, so my moves are going to do bugger all. But I am running the Sheer Force Rufflet here, so Crush Claw is going to get the buff from Sheer Force, but at the same time I'm not going to get any extra effects from those particular moves like Rock Slide, Crush Claw, and whatever my other move was, I can't remember, but I think I wasn't running Brave Bird before anyone asked. So anyways, I was predicting something like another Charge Band coming my way, so I swapped into Electrike here. Now Electrike is going to be my Choice Specs Pokemon here, and even with Choice Specs this thing hits like an absolute truck with the lightning rod up. So it's going to be obviously a bulky Luxio. I'm assuming it's going to be max special defense, max health, Intimidate for lowering the defense down, Toxic, Rest, Sleep, Talk, all this, and then Charge Beam for shenanigans there. So even with like max special defense, Everlight, and max health, that Flamethrower at +1 plus the specs still did decent damage there. Plus, considering as well, it's not stab as well. Did get the bird as well in Luxio, which was really handy there for some extra residual damage. But as I thought, it's going to be the rest set, so I was like, oh, that's kind of annoying, because now I've lost that, and I'm going to have to redo all that damage. So it's about a 3-hit KO from what I saw from the calculations. So I'm going to go for the other Flamethrower again. I'm going to try and really pressure him at this point. I don't think Trick Room's up, or if it is, it's nearly gone again, because 3 turns just pass so quickly in this game. Oh, sorry, 4 turns pass so quickly in this game. Feels like 3 sometimes. Anyways, they're going to swap out there because they're feeling heavily pressured there. Go into Meowstic to try and get some shenanigans off there. So go for the Flamethrower here. That's going to do some nasty damage to Meowstic as well, bringing that down to the orange. So that's a definite 2-hit KO there, which is very nice. And I think this turn Trick Room runs out, or it already has run out or something like that, I can't remember. So Meowstic goes for the Fake Out there. It's going to do some nice damage there to the Electrike, so obviously there's going to be something like max health, max attack, or something on that Meowstic. I can't really tell at this point. Poison is definitely racked up at this point. Going for the assist there on the Meowstic. I think Pimp forgot that the Trick Room had ended or something like that. I can't remember what he did there or what he derped up on. Gets the Ancient Power and gets the boost. I was like, oh, goodness gracious me, that's not good. Between like that weakness policy Steelix and this bloody ancient powering assisting Meowstic. So I was meant to say assisting, boosting Meowstic. It's really annoying. Alright, so Porygon's on the field once again, and he goes for the assist again. Even if he didn't derp there and didn't realize that Trick Room wasn't up at this point. Power Up Punch wouldn't have done that much anyways, which was one of the other moves that Meowstic did have at that point in the battle, which wasn't revealed at this point. So Trick Room finally goes back on the field. I can't remember when Trick Room actually died. So he goes for an assist there again, because there was nothing else he could really do at this point, because he was afraid that I had something to take up Meowstic. And what do you know, he assists Rest again. And only one Pokemon apparently on that team had Rest, so what are the chances of him actually assisting Rest again? I think it was something like 1 in 255 of getting Rest, so getting it like twice in a row was like insane. Absolutely insane anyways. So Shadow Ball there was my other move that I had, so I think I tried a Skull Bash and Shadow Ball was my 2 attacking moves, Trick Room and Recover are my other 2 moves. Obviously at the end of the battle it's going to be all overview for my team. Anyways, Nuzleaf is still sleeping on the job there. Going to my Nuzleaf here, which as I said is Choice Banded. That's going to do some real nasty damage, and I still don't take it out even with the Choice Band. How awesome is that? So that Lychee Berry is going to kick off there on the Meowstic. It's still snoozing on a job, so it's not really going to make much difference. Not only that, then a +1 in attack and all the other stats as well from the Ancient Power. So he went for the assist there, and he gets the Charge Beam, which doesn't work because of Prankster's nerf to Dark type. So that was awesome. He either derped or I can't remember Trick Room Stolen. Oh, there we go, Trick Room Stolen Field. So really, he had nothing he could do there. He was going to lose the meowstic anyways. He could have swapped out there. That what was the point of bringing in the meowstic further on in the battle anyways. Okay, so Meganium comes on the field. I was like, okay, I've kind of been afraid about this thing all entire battle, so I'm going to swap in my Rufflet here. And at this point as well, I think I wanted to sack the Rufflet because it wasn't really do anything to Meganium because I wasn't running Brave Bird. I was kind of relying on Crush Claw as my main stab due to Sheer Force. So as you can see, that Citrus Berry kicks off there. That was my only berry. He's going to swap out there, predicting I had Brave Bird or something like that. Going back into Luxio to get the Intimidate off, plus it would have resisted the Brave Bird quite nicely as well. Intimidate and drop my attack, so I actually went for the U-turn that's at turn. So maybe at this point in the battle, I still want to keep Rufflet around, just kind of see what the damage was to the Luxio. So I swap back out, go into my Nuzleaf again. And at this point, I was like, kind of just trying to plan ahead. I was like, I really need to keep Nuzleaf around because I know that's my only guaranteed way of taking out that Meganium. Anyways, Luxio still snoozing on the job here, going for the Sleep Talk, and it gets the rest. I think rest is like the MVP bloody move for this battle. So the shenanigans continue on here. The Leaf Blade's going to take out the Luxio. Finally, that thing goes down, which means my Rufflet can kind of get away with using moves now without getting that -1. Meganium is Pimp's only last Pokemon. And I was like, I can't really do anything with Nuzleaf at this point because I'm locked in to Leaf Blade. I honestly had nothing else to take out the Meganium as well. So at this point, I now want to stack the Rufflet because one, it's not going to do anything to that Meganium. It's going to take every single move that I do. So I just swap into an Ancient Power. Thankfully, no boost there as well, which is really good. Another Ancient Power as well, so bye-bye Rufflet. So if I didn't want to do anything, I reckon Crush Claw wouldn't have done that much at all. Maybe like 3/4 damage or just a little bit over it. Sorry, no, sorry, it would have done about 1/4 damage. I completely worded that wrong. Would have left on 3/4 health. Alright, so Porygon comes back onto the field. I was like, okay, I need to get my Trick Room up, and I need this thing that kill me like ASAP. So there goes the Trick Room, plus the Giga Drain as well, which does decent damage here to Porygon. I kind of expected him to just keep going Giga Draining at me at this point. Go for the Shadow Ball because that was the best thing I could do, and I didn't really want to stuff around with Skull Bash at this point either. I get a Special Defense drop, which is really nice, which means Shadow Ball is going to do more damage. And at the same time, I actually wanted as much damage as I possibly could to Miss Meganium, just in case my move I had in mind was not going to take the kill. So going for another Shadow Ball here, and because of that Special Defense drop, going to do some real nice damage there, and another Special Defense drop. I was like, nice, this game is actually working towards me, even though it's been working towards me this entire battle with all those nice rests there. So another Ancient Power, luckily still no boost there, so that 90% chance of not getting a boost is really working for me at this point. And with that -2 on Special Defense, Shadow Ball is coming very close to bringing Meganium down to the orange, and finally takes me out with that Ancient Power, which is awesome, which means I should have enough damage done to Meganium to use my secret weapon. I was like, are you ready for this? Because if I'm going to end a battle, I'm going to end it with a bang. Literally end it with a bang. So I go for the explosion here because I knew that was the only way I had of taking out Meganium. And there we go. That is game. GG. Even though that might have resulted in me in a loss technically by the rules, in our books that was technically a draw because the two of us did kind of lose at the same time. Even though, as I said, by the books, official books, I did officially lose because I was the first one to faint. Anyways, guys, that is it for tonight's battle. Hope you guys enjoyed it, especially the fact that it is my first singles battle for entirety of Sun and Moon. I do want to try and bring up a few more single battles before we go to Ultra Sun and Moon. I don't know if that will happen because at this point I feel kind of demotivated to actually do any more singles teams. I may throw out 3 more doubles before we go to Ultra Sun and Moon. I mean, it's the 7th now. Ultra Sun and Moon comes out in November. Maybe I'll bring out a few singles battles. I do have another singles battle with Pimp that I could possibly post. So that's the thing. As I said though, if you have seen that battle, you already know what's going on, but it's kind of good to see my perspective of it anyways. So all information about my Pokemon are obviously out in the outro if you want to see that. And I think that's pretty much it. So this weekend I'm going to be doing the Weakness Cup. I've got to rebreed a few Pokemon because I kind of derped up on their EVs and I actually thought someone was eligible, which they're not, so that'll be fun. So I'm going to be quickly working on that after I do Wi-Fi Wednesday. And then I'm going to be sitting down doing that. So expect some Weakness Cup battles down the track. Not going to be streaming it because we've got A Pimp stream to do, and B, I kind of want to do a IC just by myself to see the difference between quality of how well I do compared to a stream. And plus at the same time I kind of feel it's not stream worthy anyways. I mean, heck, I could pull out a couple of battles. Anyways, I think I've rambled on enough, guys. Again, If you enjoyed tonight's battle and stuck around until now, thank you so much. And until next time, this is Lady KrimZen saying ciao for now, but not forever. Ciao.